going on, everybody? Vash here with another vlog, and want to show you guys what I'm working on this week. Got a number of projects going on, FDM as well as resin. So I just wanted you guys to kind of take a look and see, and just kind of give you guys an idea of where I'm at right now. Really kind of reorganizing a few things and setting some stuff up, but I'm going to start with our resin printers here. I finally have cleared off the build plate for the Anycubic M3 Plus. I have my gripes with this machine, but it is still a pretty good machine. Really nice build plate size. It prints really well. There's just I bought this at a time where there was a transition of functions and features from the one generation of printers to the next. So I bought it mainly for the size, but there's a number of things it just is missing. But nice thing is I kind of get a lot of that stuff with the Elegoo Saturn IV Ultra. Yeah, and there's a number of features I really wanted with this printer that is now on, and I don't want to go on a long rant about this, but they have the 16K coming out, which essentially is coming with all the features I wanted that this doesn't have. It just really kind of bums me out. So I'm probably going to keep this one unless I, know somebody that's like, I'll take it off your hands and then I can just use that money towards getting the 16K, which has a lot of additional features. One mainly is the resin heater in the vat. That's kind of like a big one. And I do prefer the setup for the 16K over Anycubic setup, which has this like large control box on the side of the vat. This one just has two contacts that go into the actual printer, and then it heats up the bed. So, but anyway, I digress. I have a few things I got going on. I plan on printing out, and I've owed him this for quite some time, some chess pieces. So I'm actually going to do it on the Saturn IV because this is it just prints faster, prints better. I went through the printer calibration, which is a really nice feature of this printer. And actually, I'll show you guys that in just a second. Okay, so one of the things you're going to want to do when it comes to resin printing, which is actually really convenient on the Saturn IV Ultra, and I believe it's on the Mars 5, the smaller version of this, essentially. It is a Mars and this is a Saturn, but they're basically the same printer, just one's bigger than the other. If you go into the main menu, you go over here to Tools, and then you're going to swipe to the left, and it's going to bring up resin calibration. What you're going to want to do is pick this. Now, I have it set to a grid of 4, but basically what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to pick a file. Like I have one already preloaded on here. This is a resin validation file. And I'll link to the one that I chose. But you would pick this, and here we'll import it. And so if you look on the screen here, it has different exposure times. So you basically have this set up where, and you can change this. You can just go do 4, you can do 6, you can do 8. But basically you can go through and test the different exposure times for the resin that you're using. Because you want to fine tune the resin that you're using so that you're not underexposing it so you don't get the detail, and you're not overexposing it, making it more brittle and weak and so forth. So it's kind of about finding that right timing. And I've been using the water washable resin from Anycubic, and I've tested that, and on here 2 seconds is perfectly fine. I might even test it again, but the 1.8 seconds was just not, there was just a little bit of detail missing. I found that 2 seconds was fine. So that's what I've been using it for that. I do plan on trying the other water washable ones, seeing if they also print at 2 seconds just fine. But so far, the Iron Man print I did came out really good, really detailed, just nice and clean. Supports pulled away really nice. So, but that's something you're going to want to do. Unfortunately, my Anycubic, that came out well before the function was built in, but you can still go through and set the exposure time so that you make sure that you get the right detail. You're just going to have to do it manually over and over again until you find the right one. But it's nice because you can set it up in multiple quadrants to figure that out with this. There are a lot of different resin tests, so if you find the one that you like and helps you, hey, use the one that works for you. There are more than one way. Sorry, I said that so wrong. There is more than one way to figure it out. But that's what I've used, and I plan on using it for some of the other resins. And over here, as you can see here, I'm having it drip down. This is the resin vat thing I had printed out, and so far it's doing exactly what it's intended for. I unfortunately left that resin in there for so long that like it has this like little ghost images on there. It was worse earlier. But I'm gonna further clean that up with some alcohol, some IPA, and hopefully it's usable. If not, I have a spare sheet that I'm just going to replace it with and get back to printing. Like I said, there's a few projects, like some chest pieces I've been meaning to make, and a number of other models and tests. I plan on making, and I'm doing this from scratch. I plan on making a ring. I have a basic design, and I'll show it to you guys when I'm done, but my plan is I'm making two of them essentially. One's going to have all of the symbols of the Justice League, and one of them's going to have all the symbols of the Avengers on there. So I'm a comic book fan. I like comics. If I can incorporate my hobbies together, that's what I plan on doing. But yeah, that's what I have going on here with this. I do have something to say about the air filtration I bought from Elegoo. Like I said, I couldn't tell if it was working. Like, I couldn't tell. But I do have to say that upon further use, leaving and coming back with open resin out, open resin inside here, not anywhere else, because the actual filter itself is tunneled into here. As you can see, the hose in the back, and that's where it's going. I could not smell anything. I just couldn't. That aroma of resin, I couldn't smell. I'm smelling it now because of that thing. But prior to that, I couldn't smell anything. So I believe that it's doing its job as far as getting rid of the aroma. Now, as far as VOCs, that's a different story. Gonna have to do further testing. And unfortunately, the tester that I ordered got lost. And Amazon's being kind of a pain because it won't let me refund it or anything like that. They're saying wait. So, and it's been a while. So I'm just going to order another one and then start testing. So, but that's what I have going on with these. Now let's go over to the FDM side. Okay, so first we're going to start on over here with the K2 Plus. I found this really cool T-Rex STL. It was on Thingiverse. I'll put the link in the description. And the original creator designed it, or I think they scanned it, but they put it up for educational purposes. So the main skull is on their page, but they do have a link to the rest of the file. So if you want to print the whole body, you can, which I think is awesome. I scaled it up to 200%. So this is 200% scale. I'm definitely not going to print the entire T-Rex body at 200%. I may just go back and print everything at 100%, but I wanted to have a large T-Rex skull. And then this is on the plate. So let's just pop that off. And this is in Crowley's Hyper PLA Very Perry. And I gotta say, this came out like really good. It's nice and smooth. All the details are there. Yeah, I mean, this is just really awesome. And also, if you look at it online, the actual design does come with a base. So you'll have somewhere to put the skull up if you just want to print out the skull. Or if you just want it to sit like on its jaw, that's fine. But that's the next part I'm going to print, is the jaw. This at 200% on here was 9 hours and 6 minutes, I believe, or 9 hours and 3 minutes. But, and that's just basic settings with the Hyper PLA. And I want to say it used maybe a third of the roll. But yeah, this came out like really well. I know there's a lot of people who really want to, and it's a fair comparison, comparing the quality of the K2 Plus to the X1. And I gotta tell you, I've been printing a lot with both. I've had that for over a year, and I've been printing with this for now almost 2 months. And the quality is very comparable. Seriously, very comparable. This came out just really nice, really smooth. Super happy with it. So the next thing I'll be doing is printing the jaw. So let me close this. And so now on my X1, I'm actually doing this project right now, and it includes this over here, but essentially it is a multi-volume control for your PC. So basically it's going to be 5 basically quadrants, or sorry, not quadrants, but 5 separate volume rockers that will allow you to just like master volume and whatever else you designate to it. So I've been printing all the components to that, and then let me, oh, that just, I love when it's not attached, it just slides off. But this is one of the inner pieces. But the really cool thing is, and I don't want to say got the idea, but because I've been wanting to do this for some time, I printed the top piece, basically the face of it that you'll see on a regular basis, on one of the 3D effect plates. So this is a 3D effect plate. This is the official Bambu one. But there are plenty that you can just buy out there from third parties. I just happened to order this. The pack on Bambu's site came with 4 stickers. This is just the first one I put on. I do plan on putting one on the other side here after I clean off all the fingerprints with some alcohol. I'll put the other side on there. But I really wanted to get a really cool effect. And it's the first time I've ever printed on one of those. And I have to say, I'm pretty happy with the result. And I'm going to show that to you guys. That is right here. You can kind of see, let me bust this out into the light a little bit better. But yeah, so essentially you get this really cool 3D effect. It's like kind of holographic effect on there. And it looks real sweet. Super happy with how that came out. So these large spots will be where the LEDs go, and that's going to be like covered with a it's just printing it out in white PLA, but I'm going to do that also with this effect, just kind of to make it all seamless. It's going to look really cool. And at the top parts, those are just basically the labels, and it has some preset labels, but I might change them just based upon like my needs and then glue them in. I will make a video of this whole process of setting this up, soldering the wires and all the connectors and everything, and hooking it up to the PC and just testing it out so you guys can see. This is one of the reasons why I started getting into 3D printing, so I can make things that I can use that I want, and at the end of the day customize to my needs and what I want, and also look the color I want, because this is Bambu's it's PLA metal. It's a forest green, I think. I'll link to the one that I got. But yeah, I think this is forest green. And I like the color, man. It looks really cool. Plus with this like 3D effect, this holographic effect, I think it just looks awesome. I cannot argue with it. There we go. Now it's in focus. Yeah, I'm super happy. And I like that kind of like glass look on top. It's just super sweet. So, but yeah, that's what I'll be doing. Printing basically, I have 2 pieces left. Basically, it's just the white covers that go over the LEDs and then the labels at the top. Then everything else is just purchasing the electronics and wiring everything up. So, but let's go on to my K1. Right now, what you're looking at is a base piece to, I don't know how many of you go on Kickstarter and find projects to support. This is from a project I supported. Now, this is from a company called Gutshot Games. They made a 3D printed gaming table. They made that last year. I supported it. I got the files. I printed out a full table, and I'm working on a video to show you guys that. They have a current campaign right now for basically their version 2, and I'll link to that as well. But essentially, they've updated it with a bunch of new features and new pieces, but also the ability to physically attach the gaming table to, I believe it's IKEA LAC tables, the small one, the medium one, and the large coffee table. I'm supporting the Kickstarter because I want the files. I know that there's kind of a stigma when it comes to 3D printing Kickstarters. I've been a victim of one. If anybody recalls the Obsidian from Kodama, you know. And I'll say, please be wary when backing projects. I've been caught on a few of them where I got no reward or anything like that for backing it. Basically, the people just took off with the money. But I've had very successful ones, and this is one of the ones that was successful. Now, I've printed the original frame, and I have a piece right here, so I'll show that to you guys right now. Oh, wait, so, whoa. So this is the original frame here, and basically the tiles fit on top of this, and all the connectors go in here, the feet go on here, and so forth. But this is the original frame piece. Now you might be wondering, if I printed all the frame pieces, why am I printing that? Well, this is version 1, that's version 2. I don't know what differences there are between version 1 and version 2. They haven't really described that part yet, at least from what I can tell. I was trying to read. So I want to print out one piece here and see the difference. See if everything that worked with this works with that and the other way around currently. Because if there isn't any difference, then I can just still use all the ones I made, which I've made plenty for the tables I have designed. But if there are some differences, then obviously I'm gonna have to print out a whole bunch more pieces. So I'm really kind of like hoping that there is no major difference. Yep. But basically that's it. I see a few aesthetic changes, but I can't see any major functional changes. So, but I'll test it out. And again, like I said, I'm going to make a video showing the gaming table I've made. Nice thing is, you can completely disassemble it and reassemble it whenever you want. There's places that you can, they have a storage setup also that you can download and print. So you can kind of like neatly and conveniently have everything stored away. But that's what I have going on with that. And I'm going to print a few more pieces on there because there's a few other pieces that they have released so that you can test. So I'll be printing those on there too. Just make sure that they all work compared to their original versions. Now for this guy. Man, I don't know where to start. So I've spoken in the past about how this will not level. I have purchased, and it is on there right now, a new print head because I wasn't sure if maybe the print head, just the sensor wasn't working, the bed level sensor wasn't working correctly, whatever the case is. That is not the case. I tried it and it still didn't work, which really bummed me out. And I've reached out to Elegoo again recently, although this time I included my serial number and information so they know that I'm not just like screaming in the wind, that I'm an actual customer who bought their printer. See if I can get some help with this. If it turns out I need to get a new board, that's fine. I've worked on so many printers in the past. Replacing a motherboard is not a big issue. So, but yeah, I'm really bummed about this because this is a good printer. Prints very well. Its predecessor printed very well, and I really want to use it because I have some other projects and other things I plan on working on, and having this added to the fleet will be beneficial amongst the other 8 printers that I'm not using that I want to get back into using as well. But yeah, so I have the original printhead here. I'm assuming this is just fine. So I'm really bummed that this did not work the way it was intended. Well, actually, no. Let me rephrase that. I'm bummed that that was not the problem. So now I'm going to have to go through, do some more troubleshooting and so forth. But yeah, that's what's happening there with that. Alright guys, that's the end of the vlog. I just wanted to come out here and say thanks for watching. Thanks for all the people subscribing. Thanks for all the people hitting the like and the follow. And thanks for just being here. I really appreciate it. I got some more stuff coming down the pipeline. I got some interesting videos that I'm working on. So come back, check those out. But again, thank you. I really appreciate it. I'll see you guys later. You guys have a good one. Peace. I think that was it.